Hi, everybody. So today we are working on putting the shroud onto the front skins. Note to self: don't be such an idiot. Yeah, that's all I got. What we're doing is we're going to be riveting on the clips. As I mentioned before, there's some clips for where the exhaust will be secured on the outside, and there's doublers on the other side of that. So there's a doubler and a clip on each one of the shroud sides. And then we will go ahead and rivet the sides to the front skins. Note of caution, so the doublers that are on each side, they're identical, and so you have to have them mirrored because you will be dimpling them. So just a word of caution, when you're dimpling them, make sure they are mirrored. Not to be dimpled in the same way. And that's what I am putting on right now. So once the sides are riveted to the front skins, the next thing you do is you get the ramp, which is the ramp, and you prep it to go on. This is where we make a nice big old diversion. So the fuel pump is what gets mounted onto the top. You don't mount it right now. What you do put on, however, is you do put on the two... sorry, I'm watching some birds outside and they're confusing me. What you will be putting on are the two... normally you would be putting on two brackets that hold the fuel pump in place. That way you can just continue to work on the airframe, and later on when you start putting systems in, you'll be putting that pump on. Well, not using that pump. Got a whole separate system that I'm putting in. It's called it's an EFII system, which is electronic fuel injection and ignition system. So this will be handling both the injection into the cylinders and the ignition of that fuel in the cylinders. Actually, so the company is called Fly EFII. Link in the upper right hand corner. And I'm going to add their link down below, as they're one of the people that I'm using to build this plane. So the fuel pumps are still going to go in the same place, but instead of a single fuel pump, which is what Vans has you put in, because there's normally an engine-driven fuel pump, and then this will be your backup fuel pump. Instead, I am actually having both of the fuel pumps, because this system has two fuel pumps, mounted right on top of the shroud. Now, they will be independently driven, so I mean they are electric fuel pumps, as opposed to the one that's driven by the engine, and that's mechanical. These are purely electric, and they will be on separate lines and separate breakers. Actually, no, they'll be on separate breakers, but it's going to be on one switch. I'm going to have one switch that I will run both pumps from. And the way I will do it is I will run like an even-odd thing, right? Pump 1 and pump 2, 1 is odd, 2 is even. So if it's like the 4th of the month, that's an even day. So what I'll do is I'll test when I do my pre-flight. I will test the first pump to make sure it's working, and I'll do that and prime the engine, and then I will use the other, or the number 2, because it's an even day. I'll use that one to actually run for the flight. So I mean, it'll eventually all even out. You don't just fly on even number days. That would be pretty funny. But so eventually all even out. Here I am putting on the sides to the front skins. You use some of the Firewall sealant. You'll need that. I'm using Firewall sealant. The kit tells you to use tank sealant. This stuff is like tank sealant, but it's for high temperature. So it's tested up to like 1400 degrees. That tank sealant is not, however, it's not so bad. At that point, once it starts melting tank sealant, you're kind of screwed anyway. It's just there to give you a few extra seconds to get on the ground and out of the cockpit. So just a little added extra safety. So in the next video, we will be continuing to put on the sides, and we will get more into the new system that we're going to be describing. So I will see you soon.